I bet
absolutely.
that was hot. I bet that was real hot. I bet this 65-year-old woman just getting plowed. I just used to daydream about that in class and draw pictures of it. But that's okay, right? That's
Well, that's
No, that's
natural
healthy.
law. That's natural.
DeSantis would want me to, right? Like that's me being a
That's
good
just a
boy.
red-blooded American boy.
That's just
right there.
I'm hot for teacher.
Just I'm thinking about some of these ladies who were my teachers and how nasty they were. Just having sex. Oh my god, hilarious.
And were they all married?
I mean, I would hope so. I wouldn't want some. Wouldn't want some harlot. I wouldn't want some loose. I mean, otherwise she'd be having sex with all the boys in the class. That's where it has to go. you gotta get only married women, because if you have a single woman, she's gonna be on Dateline NBC any minute.
It's also like this idea that like teachers and their personal lives, if they're gay, should exist in a vacuum, where people are like, I've seen a lot of people like respond to this stuff to be like, I didn't know anything about my teachers. I never knew any of my teachers were married or whatever. And it's just like, I had to think it's like, these are the people who think that like teachers just like sleep at school, or they go into some sort of like hibernation chamber until like the bell rings the next day. Like if you ran into them on the weekend, you'd have some sort of psychic break because you're like, oh, I thought they just like disappeared at the end of the school day.
I do have a very clear memory of in third grade, our teacher, our female teacher, getting us all in a circle and explaining that she was getting divorced.
Really?
Cried.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was very awkward.
I had that experience too, and I mean, I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not. But second semester, she did come out to us as gay. But it was very funny because she was my English teacher, and first semester she was super mad at men, and then she made us start reading like Kate Chopin's The Awakening and like the yellow wallpaper and stuff, and like all the books were about how like shitty men were, and then she's like, I have a roommate now. And then she like told us all that. And we were like, we don't care about your life, lady. This is like too much. This is like, it was very funny though.
Well, I mean, if libs of TikTok had existed back then,
I don't want to give her any material. I don't want to give her
yeah.
any material, but it was all of us were just like, so is this going to be on the test or like, do we have to, is this on the final?
Yeah, no. Is there an extra credit assignment I can wring out of this?
This is so funny. I was such a shit because I would just agree, I would work teachers, and like if I had a teacher who was a like pro Iraq war, like I'd be like, yeah, me too. I'd just like I'd play my teachers.
You're trying to work the refs, Adam.
I would work the refs. Yeah, I believe it was called I mean, I wasn't. They'd know that I was a piece of shit pretty early on, but I'd brown nose.
So, like, if a teacher was supported the Iraq War, you'd be like, yeah. Like,
I'd be like, yeah, I think it's good. We need to, dead or
we're
alive.
building democracy, and we're saving people from Saddam Hussein. And when your teacher's like, I'm getting divorced, I'm a lesbian, you were like, yeah, me too. I'm a lesbian.
Me too. I'm a lesbian. Girl, you're a lesbian? Yeah, me too. That's an actual line from a Drake song. She says she a lesbian. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like your teacher's getting divorced. You're like, yeah, I'll support you. I can't wait to get divorced.
I think the teachers should sleep at school. I think you're right, actually, Will.
Yeah, they're not people.
They're losers. We gotta keep them at school.
How are you as a grown ass adult gonna be back in fucking grade school?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's a tight job, like plastic surgeon.
Like, yeah,
race car driver.
I'm thinking about this. It makes perfect sense. You could just put a Murphy bed in each classroom.
Mm-hmm.
They sleep in it. Then when it's time for the kids to show up, they put it back into the wall. That would save so much gas money. I mean, it would be incredibly efficient.
Yeah. But I did have really bad teachers growing up. I think that most teachers aren't really burdening students with their personal lives. And if they say they're gay, I don't think kids would.
But like if they are, it's just it's incidental to like it's just like I mean I just think most kids aren't, like you said, Adam, like aren't really interested one way or the other.
No kids
and like
care.
like if a teacher is just like, oh, like my husband and I, we went to a museum this weekend, and then they're like,
Mhm.
oh, or like just acknowledging like their sexual, like they're not sharing details of their sex life, like gay or straight. If a teacher is just like,
No.
yo, like, my wife gave me, topped me off so lovely last night, or like, or just like, no one is, and again, like, if any teacher, gay or straight, is doing that, yeah, I would say that's inappropriate.
But was it
That's wrong.
when you were on Cumtown, Nick was saying it's also like if you can't use gay people in like a math problem, like Philip and Robert who are married and in love
Yeah.
have 8 apples, and
Well,
that's
yeah,
like
I mean, like,
that's part of the Florida law.
yeah, if Heather has two mommies and loses one,
It's
how many mommies does she have?
I feel like it's just it. I don't. I mean, maybe I'm just affected by living in liberal New York City, but like, I feel like this is like really like Bush 2 era
Oh yeah, it's
conservative
back,
politics.
baby.
I feel like they're like, oh, we're gonna next they're gonna be trying to ban Sharia law. Like this is they're really playing the hits.
There's only so many of these things that you can like get neurotically fixated on, and so like it seemed like, oh, we're over with this, but it was really just it was a strategic retreat. And you know what? If '08 hadn't happened and the economy had still been going up, who knows? Maybe people would be like, "Yeah, I don't really care about this." But in conditions of just accelerating and continuing precarity, that kind of shit is the only thing that it pays to care about, because you actually can like feel like you're in charge of something, because you can't
Hmm.
feel like you're in charge of anything else. No one in power is willing to give any other complaint a hearing. So this is a way that if you are somebody who is anxiety riddled about cultural change because you have a bias against it, uh you're intolerant of it, this is a way to get some power back. And yeah, there's only so many things to fixate on.
But I feel like I mean maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like even a large percentage of Republicans don't care about gay people, or they're not worried about gay people
I mean,
getting
it does
married.
at this point, it
Yeah,
doesn't
but
really matter because
yeah, they'll go along with it
they're into
though.
it because
Yeah.
it works, because it gets people going.
Well, it also just gets liberals like well actuallying it, right? It also like it kind of like preoccupies liberals too,
We're talking about the incident in 2013, which was the Supreme Court, like making gay marriage legal.
ruining that man's marriage.
Yeah, ruining Roger's life. Like I mean, like I think sort of naively assumed that like pretty quickly after that, like gay marriage or like gay people in American public life sort of ceased to be like a major focal point of the culture wars. But I think for like the Republican Party, like as a thing, could like I mean they ran elections off of it when it benefited them, but as soon as it became legal, they were sort of like, well, we don't really give a shit because it doesn't pick anyone's pocket, it doesn't really affect the bottom line. But I think for a large percentage of their voters or the conservative movement, they have not for a second given up on
Hmm.
like fighting the gay agenda or
Maybe it's
rolling
because the
back the rights of
commercials.
gay people. Yeah,
Because I feel like half the commercials now are like interracial or gay couple. That's how kind of corporate America like after like Black Lives Matter in 2020. We're like actually we're inclusive and we're gonna have two guys going to Chase Bank together as husbands. That was like I mean maybe I'm wrong, but I noticed
Oh no, it's absolutely happened because
that's kind of like
it,
how they were like, oh, we're actually good guys.
yeah, because that's all they can do too. Like
Yeah,
the GOP uh legislative infrastructure, all they could do is try to, yeah, like ban saying gay in schools, and then all like the Democrats, they can't even do anything at this point legislatively. All they can do is have, their fellow travelers in the culture industry and in corporate America just try to signal to everybody that yeah, we're good people, and because like these principles are now the accepted, educated person's understanding of what it is to be good, is to be
right.
accepting, and is to
Yeah, they can
be
make a
inclusive.
crosswalk in a rainbow flag,
Yeah, and
or
so
like
everybody
have
then
a sign
who
say Black Lives Matter.
and then who people who don't have that value system just see that, and it's just one more
Hmm.
poke in the eye and one more thing to remind them that like they're not in charge of of culture, and makes them even more willing to vote for people who will try to turn it back the clock.
Speaking of being in charge of culture, have you seen the thing where like DeSantis in Florida, like they're seriously going to revoke Disney World's like Vatican City status as like a
Yeah.
self-governing like the land purchase of the swamps surrounding Orlando where like they built Disney World was like part of like again like a huge sweetheart like tax deal where they pay like I'm sure like basically no taxes to the state of Florida, but also like are basically given like a Hong Kong like status as this like special economic protectorate zone that now Republicans in Florida are seeking to revoke. Like
Because they let husbands go there.
yeah,
Wow.
because yeah, like they're because after giving money to DeSantis, they've like because of like some backlash from their like fans or employees like have been critical of the "Don't Say Gay" bill.
Those guys.
So,
That guy's gonna be president.
well, like I said, like the fact that he is going so hard after Disney shows like he doesn't care about the state house
Yeah.
anymore. He's
But I
got his
feel like
eyes on the White House.
he steals all the headlines now, as like a conservative that wiles out.
And you can also sort of tell like he tries to talk and act like Trump too, like down to like
And
the
stand like him.
mannerisms and stand. Yeah.
He's making his body look more like him too. He's putting on weight.
Yeah, he's trying to eat McDonald's every day. He's trying to get the Trump gloss, the Trump wetness. That's the thing, Matt. You did a very good rundown of the varying spectrum of wet to dry of American presidents, and DeSantis. To be the next Trump, he's got to cultivate more wetness.
He's got to get wetter.
Yeah, you got to get.
He's a little dewy right now, but he's got to get way wetter.
Dewy. He's dewy, but Trump, especially in that Piers Morgan interview clip yesterday,